Okay, maybe we just gotta give people a moment. Mhm. All right. I think we can try and kick it off, right? I think we can start. It's been 4 minutes, so anyone who wanted to join us could join us. Anyone who wants to jump in, you're always welcome. For now, let us start. In the meantime, those who are probably watching us on LinkedIn. Don't hesitate to drop any comments. Let's just say hello to each other in the meantime while we start and present ourselves, right?
Yes.
Great. Ladies, I'm really happy to have you today. The topic is super exciting. So, today we're going to talk about any ways to future proof your career and to actually ensure that you're going to be successful in all the possible contexts here. So, without any further ado, I would like to give this floor to two beautiful ladies who are here with me today. Catalina, probably it's worth starting with you as our guest, who we are happy to have with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Hello, everyone. So my name is Catalina, and I lead the team that is in charge of the developer success in Proxify.
Hi, everyone, again. Long time, or not really long, no see. I'm still Lesa from sourcing team. I'm senior talent sourcer, and today I will be with you covering this amazing topic.
Great. That's perfect. Ladies, thank you for introducing yourself. I will just say a small word. Hello, everyone. Once again, I'm happy to be here with my colleagues today. My name is Catherine. For those who have been watching us previously, you know me. For those who I'm saying hi to for the first time, you're welcome to this streaming. And I'm actually a sourcing lead here at Proxify, and the job of my team and myself is actually quite challenging. We are trying our best to reach out to as many developers out there as we can to do our best and promote all the opportunities and all the career doors that are open right now at Proxify. All right. I think that we can start and deep dive into the topic, right? So we're going to cover both the aspects of soft skills and hard skills today, saying a bit about each and every aspect of those two, giving you all the life hacks possible and trying to give you also a glance about how Proxify can actually serve you and give you any tips on how to be successful in the future. Exciting, right?
Yeah.
Now, to start with, such an interesting and kind of trivial question. So, importance of both hard skills and soft skills in the career of a developer, I'm sure, is quite important. So, Catalina, if we're talking about the perspective of trying to identify if there is one of them that is more important, can we actually do this and highlight one?
Oh, this is like a question that comes up a lot in coaching sessions, because maybe just to explain quickly what the developer success team does in Proxify. And we are the ones that make sure that each developer has like the right tools at the right time to succeed. And there are many points to it, and we'll see also later. It's about coaching, mentoring, upskilling. But when it comes to this one question with hard skills versus soft skills, the only correct answer is that hard skills make you like a good developer, but the soft skills is actually what makes you a great one. So if it is about just, going the next level and looking besides the hard skills that lots of developers are extremely good at, that's exactly that one tiny step that can make the difference especially when you are working with a client.
Impressive. And I know that we also have such a magical thing as Playbook, right? How do we use that?
I love how you called it magical. I just thought of it like, magical unicorns. No, it's actually the playbook for remote developers. We put this together based on all the insights that we gained from our entire team and clients. So imagine that in order to put this together, we went to every single person that works directly for client and to our clients and to our developers and asked them, what does make a developer successful for you? Like, how are they special? What is the one developer that you think about, hey, this is the person for me? And that's how we put together the playbook for remote developers. And this is actually a free guide that you have the possibility to download on our website. I think we can even drop like the link in the comments. the main point of the playbook for remote developers was to make it really easy. These are like 4 pillars of success, and one of them is deliver quality. Okay, no surprise. One of the most important things for the clients and overall, it's the quality of what you are coding, like how well tested it is, how quickly it works, and everything else. And then here we go a bit towards the soft skills. It's the ACE remote collaboration. When we are like a remote first company, most of our company is remote and all our developers are remote. So this becomes like a very important point in this collaboration. And then beyond this, it's adding value to the client. It's also a question that we will dive deeper a bit later. How do you actually add value to the client? As well as something that is very personal, the own will and motivation of someone to continuously strive to improve, which is something that we recognize and we saw in Proxify as a very important differentiator between developers that were having a great reviews and success with the client versus the one that were not having the same level of engagement.
Yeah, thank you, Catalina. I think we can switch to the next already mentioned part. So how do we usually see that our developers' soft skills influence on our work with clients? Actually, there are like a lot of very important things, but we highlighted the most important. First one is adding value to a client, which Catalina already mentioned. The first super important thing is understand the business goals, as you can see from the presentation. Offer solutions beyond coding. It's also important thing which always mentioned by our clients. Take lead and trigger a continuous innovation. Proactive innovation. Be proactive. Try to make unusual decisions. It's also will make you a brilliant, great developer, as we already mentioned before. Fluent with non-technical stakeholders as well. Second part is strive to improve. Actively seek for feedback. Feedback is a key, and this is the way how you can change things and to improve yourself always. Boost the quality and effectively with AI. We will cover this topic further more. Commit to professional development and also learn and adapt the client culture. These are the main parts which you can find out and learn from our amazing magical playbook.
Amazing.
And I suggest you to move forward to our interactive part. It's my favorite part always, where we can communicate and know our audience better. So now, today, we have like quite general, but that's why it's super interesting, how everyone is think about this question. What helps you to get better at what you do? It could be soft skills, hard skills, some tools, everything you want, you can mention in comments, and we will go through it just to not stop on this part a lot, but still.
Perfect. Now, while you are guys making up your mind, I would like to stress shortly that we are having a small technical issue with seeing the LinkedIn comments in our streaming platform. So we will only see those who are possibly commenting it from the YouTube. And when it concerns the LinkedIn comments, I am following you from the LinkedIn page, so go ahead and continue, but I am just not going to be able to show any of those comments from LinkedIn to the audience, unfortunately. So I'm going to be your voice today. Go ahead, throw anything on the LinkedIn comment section, and I'm going to read it out loud for you. This is the only fix we got for today. Something
Thank you.
Try.
Catherine, thank you for highlighting this, because I felt ghosted, like I answered the question. No one cares, like, okay, next.
As only one of us feels one moment in life, right?
Especially as a talent sourcer, it's like my favorite part, to be ghosted. Not. Please don't do this.
So yeah, go ahead, post anything on the LinkedIn comments section, on YouTube comments. We're gonna get you covered. I'm gonna speak for those commenting from LinkedIn. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for our audience to drop anything to us, girls, do you have anything from your side? What helps you actually get better in what we do here at Proxify?
You just read my mind, because I was thinking about exactly this question, where I was thinking, okay, what would I answer if I were right now in the audience? And I think that my answer is interacting with our network and our developers, because in the end, you can come up, with the most polished, pretty learning and development plans, upskilling ones, but without actually testing them and getting the input of the people that are supposed to use them and, actually do the work and upskill themselves based on them, it's very hard. So I guess things like this, interacting with all of you and with the network, it's what I think helps me get better.
Can I jump in as well? Catalina, I love your answer, and I was about to answer some kind of the same. Like, communication is the key. I really love to communicate with other teams, because when you are in your bubble, let's say, you're just stick on your work and you don't know what's happening around, and this is very important to dive deeper into other processes. This is first, and second part is humor. Especially in my job, I use humor a lot, because this is how you really can touch the person, because they, like, especially developers, they get used to different approaches, and when you try something else, something which will have emotions, this is the key. I love it.
Nice. Ladies, thank you for sharing. For me, it's going to be a challenge, most probably. I have spotted this after myself for a long time already, and I do know that the harder the challenge for me, the better I become at what I do, and the better I become at beating this challenge, actually. So that's going to be me at Proxify. It's actually the right place for a person like myself. I believe we have a lot of challenges here, and it's so wonderful and inspiring every time when you overcome it. It's so amazing. And we got the first comment. Tanvir here is commenting and marking observation being something that makes him a better professional. And I think that's a very valuable comment, ladies, right? Observation is definitely a key, especially when we're working with the client. Anyway, guys, all the questions that we're gonna ask as the part of our interactive games with you today are actually relevant throughout the whole session. So if anything comes up to your mind, don't hesitate to drop a comment on any of the platforms that we're streaming on today, and we will gladly discuss your thoughts. For now, if you don't mind, let's move on, right? So as we said before, we're going to cover both the aspects of soft skills and hard skills. And moving right along, Catalina, I would like to tackle the topic as how basically to make the best out of the hard skills at Proxify. How do we do this?
Great, let's look at the hard skills. So first of all, I think it's very, very important to set the right information about how are actually the hard skills in Proxify tested. So it's, when it comes to hard skill, we already start from a very high level. In order to apply to, like, be accepted to the network and pass through the entire process, you have to think that we have self-assessments, we have intro videos with our very skilled recruiters, we have coding tests, and we're coding for some of stacks. So the standards are very high when it comes to entering the network. So imagine that from these 20,000 applicants, just a very, very small percentage of them actually go into our network. With that said, I think it's way easier to understand why, when it comes to making the best out of your hard skill, it's not about just finding a new course or something that you need to do. It's also about how can you actually boost your productivity and how can you do more of those hard skills that you are already possessing at a very high level once you enter the network. And one of the things, believe it or not, I mean, we cannot have like a live session or anything without mentioning AI, because it is it completely changed for the past year, I think, extremely accelerated everything that has to do with software development and also the productivity boost that everyone is talking about. And just to give you a bit an idea what we noticed in our network, it's that it was a huge significant increase in the adoption rate. So out of a sudden, we were hearing from our developers what they are using, and also from our side, we were sharing with them, for example, paid GitHub Copilot licenses for the developers working on Proxify clients. And also we start putting together customized AI adoption plans, because it's not enough to just give someone the tool. Oh, here you have it, have fun with it. It's also making sure and enable them to utilize it in a way that works for them. And the way we see it in Proxify, and I'm quite sure about this, looking at all the trends and even like how quick the adoption rate increased within the network, it's that in the future, there's a strong possibility that AI relevant skills, like let's say prompt engineering, or even GitHub Copilot mastery will become part of the vetting process. At some point, everybody in the network will be using AI as a productivity boost. So that's like where we are at. And this is what we mean by, making sure that you're staying up to date, you accelerate your growth, and also, get this important boost that everyone is talking about.
That makes a lot of sense, Catalina. Thank you very much. And switching to the next topic, guys. So we're actually carrying on here, keeping asking you questions, not letting you get dull and bored while we're talking over here. So the next question to you on the topic of AI tools is going to be, which AI tools are you actually using at work? And if you have any opinions or feedback to share about that, we're always curious to hear more about the tools the developers are using out there. So again, LinkedIn comments, YouTube comments are more than welcome.
And maybe while we are waiting for comments, let's discuss our AI tools. What do you use?
Because it's not like we're not using anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the network, for example, of course, lots of our developers, we know they're using the GitHub Copilot, but also on our side, I think I cannot even count all the small or bigger AI tools that I'm using. So clearly, ChatGPT for different kind of repetitive tasks, Grammarly for making sure that our texts are nicely polished, or even we have some types of AI coaching tools, so you can even do that nowadays. They are still in a bit of an early stage. Or even better, the English upskilling. We had some really nice upskilling initiatives for our developers, and we had AI-powered apps that analyze your speech, tells you which words you might be saying wrong or not. So fascinating the way you can utilize them as tools and speed up actually learning. What about you?
Amazing. Thanks, girls. Catalina, very interesting insights, by the way. Well, from my side, definitely also ChatGPT for a lot of different sourcing purposes, from getting more about any, stacks or roles that we're sourcing for, because sometimes it can be challenging, to getting together some templates that we may use in our job, because it gets quite repetitive. I also know that my team is using one tool that actually automates the inserting of the different templates in the LinkedIn chat, so that they don't have to go and copy paste it every time. It actually helps a lot. So yeah, there are a lot of different things that we're using, and I think that AI is going to definitely penetrate more and more into our daily work. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I think we have one comment.
Yeah, exactly. So we have one comment on the previous topic. I think we have time to, glitch a little bit to the previous question that we were discussing before. And here is one. You were talking about quality as one of the pillar, which is great. How do you make sure that there is actual quality in the software?
I think I will take this one. So if we look now at the pillars and the playbook, like now keep in mind the setting from Proxify. So independent developers join our network, and then they are matched with very suitable clients that are looking exactly for the stack and the skills of the developers. And then they start an engagement and they work together for longer periods of time. Now, if we talk in this context about the quality of the software, one of them is obviously, I know, assure quality through testing. And this is what we recommend our developers to spend a lot of time on manual testing to ensure that the code works. And also, prioritize even non-functional requirements. Always write suitable automated tests, like unit tests, and basically it's a lot of testing, believe it or not. And make sure that you're also testing against business requirements. So it's very important when it comes to quality to also set the right expectations, because when a client looks at your code and is like, okay, is this good or not or whatever, they also consider if it's actually doing and meeting the business requirement that they originally had. And another topic that I think it's important is also reviewing code and suggest improvements. And this is even like peer-to-peer or with others to make sure that you spend extensive time on other people's code review requests, because you create a relationship. You give them your reviews and your feedback, they give it back to you, and you have the possibility to enhance and refine and make your code better and better. And another part of the delivering quality, it's also taking responsibility and accountability for everything that you're delivering. And it's very fair to say that one of the most important things is to, honor your yes. I know this is also in a lot of famous books about software programming and quality. It's honoring your yes, and when you commit to something, make sure actually that you can deliver it. So this will be like, of course, in just a nutshell, and I recommend for the audience and the member that asked this to download the playbook, have a look in detail on what's included, and if there are any questions, can gladly reach out directly to me on LinkedIn, and I can provide more information.
Amazing. Catalina, thank you so much. I think it's a very nice answer to this question. Of course, yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to us in any possible platform. We're always happy to answer. Now, without any further ado, I think it's time to move on, right? So
Yes,
I know
we can.
To cover. Let's go.
So the range, as we know, as we already mentioned, that the range of useful AI tools for developers is huge. So how do we know which one tend to be the most popular with engineers?
I mean, I cannot speak now for all the engineers in the world because I do not, unfortunately, have the possibility to interact with all of them. But we did run, like, I think 1 month ago, a survey with our network, and we actually did the most simple thing in the universe. We asked them. And we just wanted to know how often, for what, and which tools are like developers in our network currently using. To give you just some insights, it's 40%. Now let's go on productivity first. So 40%, they said that they are saving around 2 to 5 hours per week by using AI tools. And 21% said that they are saving more than 10 hours, while 20% are around 6 and 10. If you put all this together and you consider the amazing things that you can actually do with the time that you are saving, I must say that compared with the survey that we ran like 1 year ago, you can see a huge change, and actually it increased the productivity that our developers notice. And now if we look at the other end, the top tools, of course, GitHub Copilot, it's the first one. ChatGPT, Gemini are the top 3 that they mentioned. And it's also interesting that they are using it every day. 77% of the respondents said that they're using it every day. And just, 19 said like a few times a week and 4 occasionally. But luckily for everyone, there is no one that said that they are not using it at all. So that sounded very good. And I was also very curious about what they are using all these AI tools for, because you can have like 1 million different uses, like what we saw even in our conversation earlier. There is AI for everything. Our developers, they use it for code completion suggestion the most, documentation, unit tests, test cases, writing, as well as debugging and understanding code. This will be what we learned from our network. And I would say that we see that trend that they are doing more and more of it and using more and more the AI tools. And I like a lot how this human AI interaction is developing, because it's kind of it's becoming collaboration. And obviously that's also why lots of tools are called co-pilot, because you as the developer are the one that pilots the plane, right? In this case, you are the one that drives the software development and you own what you are doing. But an AI tool like GitHub Copilot, it's supporting you and helping you be even better what you're doing, have a productivity boost, and just write, it supports you writing your test and doing all the rest in order to have an even better result. That's what I love most about the AI tools. As you can see, I got very enthusiastic.
Amazing. Catalina, I understand why you are getting so interested in this topic. It is indeed super, super exciting. And in the meantime, I see that another tool that we got mentioned in the comments while we're talking here was Bard. So I recommend us to dive a bit deeper into the ways of using it indeed. But now, if we move right along, so given all this huge range of AI tools, obviously it saves a lot of time. First things first to developers, of course. So, Catalina, do you have any insights on how to actually make the best use of the saved time?
I mean, now you'll see my coaching background coming out. I did not mention at the beginning of the session, but what I do for a living for like lots of years now, it's coaching. This means I come from a background of learning development and coaching. And what you will see now, it's the coach speaking when it comes, what do you do actually with the productivity gains? And for me, sometimes it's about where do you invest the time? You get something out by using AI tools and then you invest it. And where should that go? The free areas that we learned from our network and we see that gives them the best results is to consider investing in the high value tasks. So these are things that AI cannot do because it's still considering like engaging complex problem solving, increased collaboration between the team members, looking even more into the business goals, and overall consider how you can take this time and invest it in the designing, brainstorming, planning, and iterating to accelerate actually the delivery of what you are, wanting to build, or what are you saying yes to, as we were saying earlier. And in the same time, another high value task, for example, from my perspective, is feedback, giving and receiving. So all these that strengthens the collaboration and strengthens also your understanding of what you're supposed to do and deliver. It's a really good time investment. Then we have innovation and experimentation. Okay, you get some more time. You can as well consider to explore new ideas, build some prototypes that maybe otherwise you'd have had no chance to do because you're stuck, like writing the tests or debugging something or even understanding code when you're studying an engagement. And the last but not at all least, it's something that it's not new as a concept, but I think it's so relevant to mention. It's the learning and unlearning. Everybody, when you open LinkedIn, when you open any kind of platform, you have content everywhere. Like if we want, we could learn every single day and night anything possible and we'll still not run out of content. So access to knowledge is not something that we have a problem right now with. And when it comes to learning, we can learn lots of things, but to make space and utilize the best what you are learning, you also have to unlearn some old ways. Picture that for many, many years, you used to have a certain process of, I don't know, debugging, writing documentation or everything. And out of a sudden, you have a tool that can help you. You also have to unlearn the old ways of doing things and be open and let the new knowledge that flows in actually be implemented and utilized. For that, I would always invest as much time as possible learning and unlearning things that do not serve us anymore.
Thank you so much, Catalina. I love the last part about unlearning. It's so important for real. Okay, let's move forward. And the next question from me, how to get the best out of your soft skills with the Proxify?
Oh, so acing soft skills. Of course, this comes exactly perfect after the learning and unlearning, because I can also share a bit even more about what my team is doing. The reason why I was keeping mysterious and just saying my name and role at the beginning was, but to be able to kind of like bring you to this journey of what we are doing on different stages for our developers. And now let's say you're a really good developer, you had great hard skills, you passed all our assessments, and now you're in the Proxify network. We create like a really, really nice profile for you. We support you in writing and presenting your experience to make sure that it's extremely relevant and very clearly written for the client, so that they have a possibility to get matched. And then after being in the network, you get your first engagement. There is just a small step between the time when you are joining the network and getting an engagement, which is the time where you have like matching meetings, for example, with our internal team. This can be the client managers or our client engineering managers. These are the people that know everything about the opportunity that it's open, and they find exactly the perfect match between the developer and the client needs. And after they found you, they picked you up, okay, you are like the perfect match, then comes the time to meet the client. And it is just natural. No matter how good we are, we still have that little thing like, hey, how do I present myself best? How do I make sure that I kind of wow the client and they'll be like, yes, forever, this is my developer. And we have in our team professional certified coaches like me and some other team members. We offer for each developer that it's their first engagement and their first meet and greet with the client, the possibility to have a mock session. You can imagine it, we take the developer, we have like mock session, as in we're the client, and we give them some guidance and help them with questions and tips. How can they do the best out of it? How do you pitch yourself? How you present your like your experience from the best part? How do you match that with what the client is needing? So this is one of the things that my team is doing. And then we provide access to training, coaching, mentoring, and upskilling. And it's also, we're doing lots of in-house development for these different areas because we need it to be very, very relevant for our network. Something else that we're doing is expert-led live events. In Q2 was really fun because we had a speaker from Microsoft, and he talked to our network about prompt engineering and productivity boost using AI. And it was, I think we had like hundreds of developers joining because it was, first of all, a very relevant new topic, and they had the possibility to learn from a tech lead from Microsoft about all these things. And another thing that we're doing is the career coaching and guided professional development. I truly believe that we already started doing this around 2 years ago when I joined Proxify, and I believe it's such a benefit to have someone that you can actually discuss your goals with, align them, and also have the possibility to identify steps on how you can reach something that you want. Maybe it's not now, maybe it's in 5 years, but that guided professional development and the access to coaching to do that, I think it's something that I love most about what my team is doing.
That's beautiful. Catalina, thank you so much for sharing this. I could listen to you for hours and hours. I actually almost forgot to ask you the next question that I was wondering about, because I was just listening to you, looking at this slide, and I do think it's important to help everyone, including myself, to actually outline the concepts of training, coaching, mentoring. They may come off similar, but yet they are not the same, right?
Definitely not. And it's so hard to define them. We even have these kind of questions at senior developers or like even senior executive that they have been trying all of them, but without pinpointing, which is what. And just for you to have understanding between the difference, like training, it's quite easy. You join Proxify, then we have an onboarding training where you get all the information about Proxify, how the platform works, how do you report your check-ins and everything else. That's training. When you are literally training someone on something new, like can be a platform or anything else. From the training, you also have upskilling. And the difference between training and upskilling, it's that it's something that they are enhancing and learning completely new without the direct need of, hey, you need to be trained on this so that you can utilize this computer. It's more about you have the possibility to enhance your skills further, learn new things, and go to the next level as with your soft skills and similar. And now we are left with the two most tricky ones, which is coaching and mentoring. I remember in one of my first coaching trainings, that appeared exactly this question, what's the difference? And I remember even today the explanation that was given, that mentoring, it's like coaching with the permission of giving feedback and showing a better way. This means that in coaching, you are not like given a solution. Coaching is a process. What the coach does supports your thinking process and helps you generate new thinking. Maybe you thought about a topic 1,000,000 times, but you're stuck there. But the coach would help you generate a new knowledge and not provide solution. By default, coaches will not provide a solution, will just kind of guide and show you the way to identify them. A mentor, on the other hand, by default has more knowledge than you, or at least on some topics, they are more experienced, more senior, and they kind of like might have met similar challenges. And besides the fact that they are kind of coaching you, they also give you feedback. They show you better ways of doing something. Of course, it's always up to you if you apply something or not in coaching, mentoring, and anywhere, but they are supposed to exactly do this and have this relationship with you where they give feedback and they support your growth with very targeted like problem solving or sharing their experiences. And it's something that I'm really proud of. Now I'll go in the proud team head of department mood. It's a new coaching record that we'll hit very soon. There will be like around 1,000 coaching sessions that we had with our developers. And maybe 1,000, okay, sounds like a number, but what does this mean? If you look at how expensive actually coaching is on the market, it's a really whooping value of over $90,000 that are invested, like you have access to this. So I think it's something that our network really appreciates, to have this access to coaching, and it's something that we see now the results of.
This is very helpful, actually, because now I have learned a lot within the last few seconds. I am gonna take it with myself. Amazing to hear, and wonderful, wonderful pillar of 1,000 coaching sessions. Like, kudos to the team. That's incredible. Okay, look, I and Alyssa, I'm sure, have a lot to ask you more, but now before we jump forward, since coaching is obviously a very like varied area, it can concern a lot of different aspects. You as a professional, amazing coach, which top 3, let's say, coaching areas would you outline?
It's actually what we are doing in Proxify, and probably this one some of our even external members know about from the LinkedIn posts. We have like 3 main coaching areas, which is the personal growth, career growth, and peak performance. I mean, we don't need now to go in tiny small details of this, but picture personal growth, something about communication, interpersonal skills, growth mindset, self-presentation skills, something that will help you anyway in any circumstances, not just in a professional setting. And then you have the part of the career growth, a bit what I was mentioning earlier with the guided professional development, because you get the chance to look on the strategic planning skills, leadership skills, collaboration, and also problem solving. These are like something that rounds up the profile of a developer and helps them promote and also showcase even more their hard skills. It's like you are taking, like a light and putting it on your hard skills by rounding up your profile with this kind of other information. And then we have the peak performance. Peak performance starting being very, very used and kind of famous like a few years ago. It's about the work-life dynamics. It's not the balance, because we might know, all of us, that sometimes it's not perfect, it's not like perfectly balanced, but it's about the dynamic that needs to be on the good side. Some days we'll work more, some days we'll work less. That's completely fine, as long as the sum of it's still okay for us. And peak performance is managing to have for a longer period of time sustainable performance. So that is not just peaks of good, bad, good, bad. It's just about making sure that you make performance part of your daily habit, if you want. And another topic of peak performance that it's worth highlighting is the intrinsic motivation and resilience and adaptability. I cannot say enough about how important is this resilience piece and adaptability, especially in the time of AI and all the quick changes that we're all witnessing.
Thank you so much, Catalina. And I have one question, which answer I already received, but still I will ask because I really want to dive deeper into it. So the really age-old question: do developers need coaching?
I mean, I can answer this one easy. Yes. But if you
Okay.
want to know a bit more about it, I can just say coaching was originally when, I think this was like, I mean, it's not a new thing, coaching. It was always around in one form or the other, but was very exclusive for like executives and, very high level, C-levels and everything. But after around 2018, it's starting being, the people learned that it's something that you can use for personal growth, and it became also more accessible. You had a huge growth in the market of coaches. You had a huge growth in platforms that offer packages of coaching, things like this. And if we just look at developers now, the most four important things that coaching can help with, it's actually, for example, converting feedback into action. It's so easy to get feedback, but not to know what to do with it. But when you have the possibility to process it together with a coach or even with a peer, that feedback becomes actionable. And then you also, again, we see the point of increasing resilience and adaptability. When a change happens, we humans and generally even organization, they are very stable systems. And when a change or like something comes from the exterior, we start balancing, right? Because it's like the forces are a bit like moved, and it takes a while until we come again to a steady, balanced format. And this is what coaching can accelerate, because the easier, like the quicker you can process the changes and adapt to them, you are also increasing your resilience. The more often it comes to you, the quicker you bounce back, the quicker you have the possibility to learn new things and adapt to them. And the other two ones that I will mention very briefly, conscious of the time, it's building innovation confidence. Lots of developers that we have in the coaching sessions, they are like, hey, I had a really good idea for the client, but I did not know exactly to which point and how to best bring it to them in order to make sure that they understand it's like the contribution, what do I want to do with it. And that's where it's really, really important to work on those presentation skills and also build the confidence that it's okay to actually bring those things. And what holds people back, it's usually the worry of doing something wrong or not bring or like kind of having a setback. That's also something that can be worked on. And obviously, last but not least, the targeted professional development. This one is you don't need to 100% know exactly where you're going, but as long as you have an approximate direction of your trajectory and what you want to achieve, it's way easier to build milestones and add things on your path that are actually bringing you in the future to what you want. It just needs to bring you closer. You don't need anything defined. It's not like, oh, in 5 years, I will be the tech lead of I don't know which company. It's not about that. You just maybe know that you have to have a leadership position in a big company, and then you just build towards that and let the things come.
Sounds wonderful. Catalina, thank you so much for sharing this. Now, it has been a lot of information. I do feel like it's time for some interactive part again. We like asking questions in these streaming sessions, as you guys know. So now the question to you. So kind of to wrap up the topic of soft skills, if you could master one soft skill instantly, which one would you pick? Which one would it be? Don't hesitate. Again, LinkedIn comments, YouTube comments both work. And I'm going to be the voice of LinkedIn comments today. So
now I'm starting to be a bit worried that you'll ask me the same question. So I was already trying to quickly
I
find an
was
answer.
about to.
Same. Feel no pressure. Feel the same.
You start to know really well what's going on here. But yeah, actually, it's a very nice question to reflect to all of us. So
For me, it's communication for sure. Because as we already all of us agreed and mentioned before, communication is the key. And it's also about, I love the part which Catalina mentioned about developers, that they all often have really good ideas, but they are afraid if they can bring it to the client and what feedback will they receive. And coaching is really useful and helpful here, and it helps you to communicate and to not be afraid of like rejection, any other opinion, and etc. And it's amazing. I really love this part. And during Catalina's speech, I really felt how amazing our developers are.
They really are. And again, what our team is trying to do is exactly this: make sure that they have the tools that they need to highlight and kind of like, even if you want to bring even more to the surface, all these qualities that they have, so that it becomes a plus actually, and they have that, a great performance that our clients and even our developers enjoy a lot, because in the end it's a good satisfaction feeling when you're doing a job really good and you're appreciated for it. So it's not just for the clients, also for us and for our own growth, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true. I was listening to you girls. I was thinking that if I would pick one soft skill to instantly master, I would probably train this skill to overcome my natural shyness, because sometimes I tend to become awfully shy, to follow up on the candidates or to knock at the same door for a few times to get the answer. And sometimes it blocks you, I must admit. So this is something that is worth fighting against in my case, I would say.
I think there's something of it to any of us, no matter how comfortable we might look doing things. It's completely normal human behavior. And actually, before moving to the Q&A, I know that we have a nice session prepared with the audience. I would also like to bring in actually what we recommend our developers to be the free communication skills clusters that they can work on. As you also naturally highlighted, communication it's a good bet, because of the fact that in the future, okay, we'll have more and more tools, we'll have more and more support, but the interaction with the people and supporting, also like collaboration with the teams, remote settings, you can put all this together. What wins, it's usually to bet on communication and make sure that you are at a very, very high, extremely good level when you do it. And a bit of a funny topic is the fact that when I posted something like this on LinkedIn, there was one developer that answered and said like, prompt engineering would be the skill that I want to master. And it took me a second to realize how right the developer was, because clearly you need prompt engineering to use any type of AI tools. You need to know what to ask to get the right answer, but it's also communication. It's actually communication between humans and the big learning models. So that was the fun part, to realize that even prompt engineering, it's a matter of communicating. You just learn which questions to ask to the artificial intelligence tools in order for you to get the right answers. And talking about communication skill clusters, I would highlight assertive and clear communication. This is the part where you know that you have a voice and how to use it exactly for innovation or for bring up really good ideas. And in order to do that, you also need the excellent presentation skills. If you will have one slide with 4 million parts of writing and you would be afraid to go out there and articulate an idea, or you will just come out like very quiet, a bit shy, it's very hard for someone to have the same, yes, go feeling for what you are sharing. And the last one that I mentioned here is the feedback giving and receiving. Usually I can just say like this: if you receive feedback, doesn't matter if you're okay with it or not, and if you agree or not, you don't always need to agree. You just say thank you. This is the easiest thing that you can ever do. Say thank you and process the feedback. And by that, I mean, talk to a peer, talk to someone in the family, talk to other colleagues, if a coach, whoever you want, and make sure that you consider how that feedback aligns to your values. And if it aligns, what can you actually do to make an action out of it? And if you feel that that's completely not aligning, you have two options. You do not do anything about it. Sometimes might be negative if it's like a work relationship, or you ask more questions. And I don't think that no one in this universe ever got upset that someone came and said like, hey, you gave me that feedback. Would it be possible to tell me a bit more? What are the situations when you notice me doing this? So that's why, again, we come then to assertive and clear communication. It's a circus of all these three things that are worth highlighting. And maybe just to summarize from the developer success side in Proxify, coaching is just one part that we highlighted more today. But as important as coaching, it's the mentoring part within the network, the trainings that you are receiving from the beginning in order to make sure that you know how to utilize the platform, how to get the clients and everything, and as well as the upskilling which are like live events, seminars, or you have the possibility to enhance or even learn new skills in a very safe space. So those are the 4 things that we're doing in Proxify as benefits for our members, as part of the benefits. And on top of that, you have everything that has to do with the productivity boosts and the support on the AI adoption.
Amazing insights. Catalina, I think that it's the best way to wrap it up. And it's true that at the end, everything locks up on communication skills. So that was basically the whole point of the session here today. But yeah, amazing insights. And I will once again remind about the playbook. And we will also make sure to include the link to the playbook in our follow-up post after this session so that you guys could come back to it anytime you need, anytime you want. Yeah, now since we are slowly getting to the end of this session and we're on the kind of wrap-up point, as always, any questions that you have come up during the session while listening to us are more than welcome. And while people are thinking of maybe any more questions that they were holding till the end, I will post one comment that was actually coming from LinkedIn. Now, Samuel, I do see that it was you. I am not stealing your thought. I am just copy-pasting your question right here so that I could actually pin it to the screen, and hoping that you are still watching us, you could actually hear the answer to the question. Question is actually very interesting. How do you use AI to sort resumes and applications, and how can someone fix their resume to get past the application phase? Anyone wants to take this one? I can. So answering the first part, how do we use AI in our work, for example, to sort resumes? I think the person knows something about how Proxify works. We actually do use AI principles to sort out all the applications that we have. As we spoke on the previous sessions, we have certain, let's say, standards that we apply to the candidates here at Proxify. One of them is, for example, having not less than 5 years of extensive experience. Another one is clearly the stack that is mentioned in the application. All that actually influences the prioritization, let's say, that is going to be put on your application. Based on the continuous feedback, for example, that we are receiving from our clients, we understand that having less than 5 years of experience can result into a developer being not very successful with our clients. So that's why this is kind of a strict a requirement from our side. And after all those applications that were not rejected automatically by our AI system, based on those parameters, are actually transferred to the careful hands of our recruitment team. And from there, you can receive any feedback that you may normally get on your application, invitation to the screening, or feedback on staying in touch for any new upcoming opportunities for the future. So this is how we're using AI.
Can I cover second part of?
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Catherine. For sure, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT, for example, to create a cover letter, which is always welcome. It can create from scratch or shape up the one you already have, and etc. Also, you can use it for shaping up your CV as well. And back to our first actually live session in LinkedIn, we covered this topic a lot about creating a resume, CV, about cover letter, and etc. We have all recordings in our YouTube. You can always back there and now understand what a useful material now we have for developers who are already with us or want to join our network. So don't hesitate to rewatch our live sessions. They are pretty useful.
Exactly. We will make sure to make some kind of recaps to refresh all that for you guys. Just another tip, I'm thinking how to improve the structure of your resume, apart from, of course, respecting everything that we have been talking about before, simply using tools like Figma, for compiling your CV together can be actually very helpful. They have a lot of free-to-use templates that I really like personally. Even the T-shaped structure that may help you organize better your skills and experience, all that can be super helpful. Okay, thank you for the question. That was an interesting one. Now, we have received another one that is going to be probably more relevant for Katarina. Now, Abderrahman, I also see that it was you. I hope you are still watching us. It's going to be the same. I am not stealing, just trying to facilitate. So here's the question. What other paid tools Proxify provides? And do we possibly have anything else, Katarina, in our toolkit?
I'll give a short answer to this. So when it comes to the one that I mentioned, GitHub Copilot, it's a paid tool for our developers that work on engagement. Other opportunities are, for example, English upskilling. And this is based a lot on the needs of developers, especially if they are highlighted for special staff requests or similar. But it's very important to consider that our developers have a very high standard of level of English. It's just if we need to enhance something. And for example, we also have offerings like occasional courses that we might offer when it comes to upskilling. If, for example, you need to learn something small, like to improve your hard skills or something, we can organize these kind of things. But as part of the benefits that are included for everyone that joins Proxify, I would say first comes the in-house developed things like the coaching sessions, which are for different, as we've seen, different areas. Then you have the training and development part, and also the upskilling and the rest of them. So those are like paid in the idea that they are developed for the in-house, but nevertheless there are benefits that they have access to from professionals from Proxify. Then we have the expert-led events, which are obviously also a great benefit, plus the other things that we mentioned with the paid tools.
Perfect. I hope it answers the question, and I hope the person still heard us. Now, I, of course, encourage people to post any other questions that you might have. To finish this session, we got this comment at the very beginning of the session as an answer to actually the first interactive question we were asking. And I think the person here was just on top of everything that was mentioned afterwards. The best skill, in my opinion, has to be collaborative skills and ability to break down technical terms and processes to non-technical audiences. Technical
I cannot
skills.
agree more to that.
Go ahead, Catalina, please. I knew that it's going to speak to you.
Yes, I cannot agree more to this, and it's also what it's mentioned in the playbook when it comes to be fluent with non-technical stakeholders. And I think that the person that wrote this completely nailed it, as you said, on what's very important. Yeah.
Absolutely. Clem, thank you very much for this comment. I hope you are still watching us. And yeah, this really made this session. Thank you. That was brilliant. Okay, seems like we were pretty straightforward today. We don't receive that many questions, but guys, don't hesitate to reach out to us on any platforms, and we will always be happy to assist you with anything. For now, I believe we're gonna wrap up at this point. We will make sure to make a recap post of this session to share the slides, and of course we'll make sure to share the link to the playbook, or maybe even the PDF of the playbook itself to make it easier for you to download. As for today, thank you so much for attention, and I'll see you in 1 month. We're going to be talking about how to actually become very successful with our clients, and what is happening on the matching side between our developers and the clients. Very exciting topic. Until then, stay tuned, stay safe, and I'll see you somewhere. Catalina, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.